Sunshine, everyone. I hope you are in your best of your health and spirit. So, this video is regarding the revision of the chapter, the first War of Independence, 1857. So, we are going to revise all the questions that were there in workbook. I will try to make the video short. So, we will not discuss the small question answers, like short answers. We will discuss the answers which are important and also which you need help from my side. So, we will see how to make point form answers, mind maps, how we can use mind maps in answers and all. So we'll discuss all this in this video. Okay. So let's start with this first question. When did the Great Uprising take place against the British rule in India? So this is the 2 marks or 1 marks question, so you can write it down, right? Where did the massive rebellion begin? So it's Merit, present day Uttar Pradesh. Begum Hazrat was Begum Hazrat. Whom did the mutineers proclaim the emperor of India? So Bahadur Shah too, that is Bahadur Shah Zafar. And after that, who was the governor generalship? Who was having the governor generalship at the time of Revolt of 1857? So he was the Lord Canning, Governor General of India at that time. Okay. After that, short answers type questions. This is the important question: how did the Revolt of 1857 affect the position of East India Company? So talking about this, there were many different factors that affected the East India Company and its position. So what all were there? The first point was abolition of East India Company rule. East India Company rule was abolished. Government of India Act 1858 was passed, and directly the control was given to the British Crown now. So this was the beginning of British Raj in India. First of all, when East India Company came to India, its motto was clear that they will trade and all. But after that, they started administration in India. They started controlling India's administration. So British Crown was worried about the like rules and regulation, how to control India. So they directly started control from the London. We will see the second point is there: establishment of Secretary of State for India. So Secretary of State for India was established in London. It was based in London, and consultation was taken from the Council of India. So Council of India was set up in India only, India itself. Okay. Dissolution of company's army. So basically, East India Company was having his own army, and it was disbanded, and its forces were integrated into British Army. Now, British Army was basically British Crown was directly controlling the army also now. Loss of administrative control. So whichever and whatever control the East India Company was having regarding the administration, now it was totally under the control of British Crown. So Governor General of India was converted into a viceroy, and he was going to represent British Crown directly. End of commercial activities. Commercial activity was end. All East India Company ceased its commercial operations and gradually dissolved after 1858. So yeah, till 1858, it was the last when they were playing as a trading company. Now all the trading and commercial operations were stopped. Now they were controlled by British control. Right? Okay, British Crown basically. Next question. Mention two reasons for discontent among the Indian sepoys. We have discussed this in class, but I will revise it for you. So, why sepoys were unhappy? So, their pay was less, allowances were given less, condition of service was poor. So, you just have to mention two major reasons. So, major reasons. So, major reasons for discontent. I have written point form also. So, you can go through this. Like first was religious and cultural insensitivity, and the second was discrimination and poor service conditions. So regarding the religious and cultural insensitivity, we have seen that they were introduced of the infield rifle cartridges rumored to be greased with cow and pig fat, so deeply offended both by Hindu and Muslim sepoys. Cows are sacred in Hinduism, and pigs were considered as impure in Islam, so making this a serious religious affront. Additionally, there were concerns about forced Christian conversions and the undermining of traditional Indian practices, which alienated the sepoys further. And second point is discrimination and poor service condition. Talking about this, Indian sepoys were subjected to racial discrimination and unequal treatment compared to the British counterparts. They received lower pay, fewer promotions, and had limited opportunities for advancement and all. So they were not treated equally. Their ranks were below the British counterparts and all. So basically, they were discriminated, and poor service was also not good, that good. That's why they were unhappy. Okay, so you can directly write this 2 points, and you can write in similar way. This content is for 3 marks. Okay, generally whenever they are asking 2 points, 1 point, 3 points, write down three major reasons, two major reasons. So you can directly assume that they are this question is 3 to 4 marks question. Okay. Okay, moving toward the next question. What were the steps taken by the British to bring the Mughal dynasty to an end? So we have discussed this also, that Mughal rulers' name were removed from the coin minted by the company. Dalhousie announces that Bahadur Shah from Mughal family will be removed out of the Red Fort, and Canning decided and declared that Bahadur Shah Zafar is the last Mughal. Right after that, there will be no Mughal, and descendants will be called as the prince. So you can write it down in the point form also and mind map form also. Some points are missing. I have included in point form in this below. Okay, so exile of Bahadur Shah Zafar, abolition of Mughal title. After that, moving forward, control of Red Fort, right? Policy of symbolic erasure, right? Fair proclamation of British Crown and all. After Government of India Act 1858, India was formally brought under the rule of British Crown, completely replacing the Mughal Empire with the British Raj. So you can write that point also, which was there in the previous question also. Policy of symbolic erasure. You can write the British systematically removed all references of Mughal authority. For instance, they stopped minting the coins in the name of Mughal emperor, a practice that had continued even under the East India Company rule, right? So they stopped everything there. This steps effectively ended the centuries-old Mughal dynasty, erasing its political influence and symbolic presence in India. Right. Moving forward, we will discuss the long answer type questions, in which the first question is, how did a mutiny become popular rebellion? So mutiny became a popular rebellion. But it was started from the Merit, right? Merit to Delhi, it was spread. The company fight back was there. We have seen how company was fighting back. Right? So 8th April 1857, Mangal Pandey was hanged to death. Some days later, sepoys refused to drill, practice, and go to the job and do their duties and all. They refused to do duties and all. So 9th May 1857, 85 sepoys were jailed. 10th May 1857, they attacked jail. Arms and ammunition were looted. British officers were killed. 11th May 1857, Red Fort. Like basically, they meet Bahadur Shah Zafar and forcefully demanded to become a leader. So this was a whole story that was going at that time, right? So I have made the mind map above, and also I have given the point also. So you can manage yourself. You can make your creativity. You can add your creativity, and you can make this something different out of these key points. Okay, so Sepoy Mutiny was started. Grease cartridge and offensive to religious beliefs and all. Spread of discontent, communication, humors, symbolic action, mutiny at Merit inspired uprising in other regions, shared grievances, so religious offenses, economic policies, social discontent, participation of diverse group rulers, peasant and zamindars were coming up, artisans and traders were coming up, symbolic leadership. Ignited the rebellion. Basically, Bahadur Shah Zafar declared the leadership of the rebellion and unified diverse group under one cause. A common goal was the main motto. That was overthrow British rule. We have to overthrow the British rule, restore traditional system and leadership. So key idea, the mutiny began with these sepoys, but transformed into popular rebellion due to shared grievances and widespread participation, symbolic leadership, and the desire to challenge British rule. So this was the answer. You can write in your own form, like making mind map and using point form. So it's your wish. And see, this content is just to enhance your knowledge, and this is all about your practice and all, how you practice your and how you enhance your answer. So try to enhance your answer by using point forms and mind map. That will increase your score, and it will be it look good while reading also. So teachers get easy, teacher feel comfortable and easy. Like whenever you are writing answer, right, write like you are a teacher and you are going to explain. Right. It is not that we are teachers and now we will judge. If you are writing answer, write the answers in such form that teachers doesn't know anything, don't know anything, and we have to teach, or you have to teach the teacher also. So write down in that way. Okay, what were the steps taken by the Britishers to reform the Indian society? So announced rewards for loyal landlords, right? Allowed to continue to enjoy traditional rights over their lands. We have discussed this. After math, also we have discussed this. That Government of India Act 1858, territory plus power of East India Company was transferred to British Crown. British Cabinet was set up. Secretary of State, right? And London. It was based on London. And Indian Council was assisting the Secretary of State. Governor of India was converted into Viceroy. Changes regarding Indian rules. So no further annexation will be taking place now. Allowing passing of kingdoms or to hires were stopped, except British paramountcy. Change in army. Basically, European were increased, Indian were decreased now. Gurkhas, Sikh, Pathan, and recruitment was increased. British culture will be respected. British as Muslims were rebelling. Zamindars' rights were acknowledged. This whole points you can add in this question. What were the steps taken by the Britishers to reform Indian society? Okay, moving forward to the next question. Next question is, East India Company aggressively pursued the policy of expansion till 1856, and its rule ended after the revolt. List various methods used by the company to achieve its aim. What lessons you can draw from it? So basically, to establish that rule, they have different rules and regulations that were passed by the company to achieve their aim to like come into the power, right? So Nawabs lose their power, and how Nawabs were losing the power? Residents stationed in many courts. Nawab freedom was curtailed, army was disbanded, right? And revenue source plus territory take was taken away by the British company, right? So Nawabs were losing their power. After that, ruling families were coming to negotiate, and all negotiations was going on, but still they were not able to negotiate, right? Rani Lakshmibai and Nana Sahib, Peshwa Bajirao too, and all that story. It was because of the doctrine of lapse. We have seen this in class, right? Doctrine of lapse. What was doctrine of lapse? Adopted son to be recognized representative. They were demanding for that, but company refused that, right? In the case of Nana Sahib, he requested for the pension of father to be given to him, but company refused that also. The doctrine of lapse, according to it, if you are not having a boy, right? So male, basically male successor. So all kingdom and property will be taken by the British rule. Okay, so doctrine lapse was passed. At the same time, we have seen the subsidiary alliances. So Awadh was there. Awadh taken over on grounds of misbehaviors, misgovernance, right? Britishers were interference is needed. So for proper administration and all, they were saying, Dalhousie was saying that British interference was needed in this case. Awadh was not properly governed by any ruler. So these were the rules. I have written in the mind map form also and point form also. You can go through this also. Doctrine of lapse, I have already told you. Jhansi, Satara, Nagpur, this all were example of doctrine of lapse. Subsidiary alliances, Lord Wellesley, jo hai. So state like Hyderabad, Awadh, and Mysore, rulers who failed to comply were often dethroned. So you can go through these points also. Okay. Military conquest. So the company fought several wars such as Anglo-Mysore Wars, Anglo-Maratha Wars, Anglo-Sikh Wars to expand the dominance. Victory in this wars allowed the British to annex significant territories like Punjab and Mysore. Treaties and alliances were done. Economic exploitation was going on. Use of betrayal and espionage. Basically, the company often used divide and rule tactics. Best example is Bengal, where they divided Hindu and Muslims. Right? Annexation and pretext on pretext. State like Awadh were annexed under the pretext of misgovernance and inability to maintain law and order. Lessons drawn from the period. So this question is new for you. The second part of the question. This we have discussed that what were the method, various method used by the company to achieve its aim. The question, second part of the question is what lessons you can draw from it. So this is case-based question, case-based question. So you have to answer in such way that what you have learned from the whole period, this annexation, sorry, changing period, right? First war of independence, from first war of independence. So lessons drawn from the period was first, unity is strength. You have to unite yourself. The lack of unity among Indian rulers allowed the company to exploit their divisions. It highlights the importance of solidarity in the face of external threats. Beware of foreign intervention. So whenever foreign power is attacking or coming to the coming as a trading company, so don't lose the sovereignty, right? Economic independence is vital. You have to be economically strong. Importance of vigilance and strategy. The company's strategic planning and manipulation serve as a lesson to be cautious and negotiations and alliances. Consequences and of operation. So basically, the revolt of 1857 was a direct outcome of oppressive policies, underscoring that exploitation and injustice can lead to rebellion. Adaptability and modernization. Indian rulers' failure to modernize their armies and governance systems made them vulnerable. Embracing changes in crucial for survival, right? Embracing. So basically, by reflecting on this method and lessons, we can understand that the importance of strategic thinking, unity, and resilience in safeguarding sovereignty and freedom. So these are the points which you have to include in your answers. This will enhance your answer. Going further to the next question, after 1830s, British introduced many reforms in India. This is the statement which they are providing from their side. After 1830s, British introduced many reforms in India. So the question is, why did the Orthodox section of Indians oppose the reforms? So why Orthodox were opposing the reforms? So we will see that we have to give the reasons. So reasons for opposing Orthodox Indians. First was religious interference. So reforms like abolition of sati, it was good step taken by the Britishers and all. You can say all the reformers and all. Introduction of Widow Remarriage Act 1856 were seen as direct interference in Hindu religious practices and traditions. Orthodox sections believed these changes were an attack on their faith and customs. So they were thinking like that. Fear of conversion. So they were having fear of conversion. Sorry. The spread of Western education, Christian missionaries' activities was increasing, and law of Religious Disabilities Act 1850, which allowed converts to inherit property, created fear of forced religious conversion among Indians. Introduction to Western culture, Western education was also one of the reason why the Orthodox Indians were opposing the reforms. So British emphasizes on Western style education and English language has seen as undermining traditional Indian system of learning like Gurukul system and all. It was perceived as an attempt to alienate the youth from Indian culture. Changes in social hierarchies, reforms aimed at uplifting lower caste and women were viewed as threats to the caste-based social order. Economic disruption was there, cultural alienation was there, misunderstanding of intentions, resistance to change. So these were the factors, some important points, which were the reasons to for it gave the reasons to Orthodox Indians to oppose the reforms. Right? Impact of opposition. So what was the impact? As such, it is not asked in the question, but I have added if the question changes for you, so you can write what was the impact of opposition. So opposition impact was the opposition from Orthodox section slowed the implementation of certain reforms. It led to increased distrust between Indians and the British, contributing to a growing sense of alienation from colonial rule. However, the resistance also fostered debates on social issues, paving the way for future Indian reformers like Rajaram Mohan Roy, Jyotirao Phule to address this concern more effectively. Understanding this opposition highlights the complex interplay between tradition and modernization during the colonial rule in India. You can write it in the point form also and mind map form also. I have given an example, like I have made it for you. Reasons for opposition by Orthodox Indians: religious interference, conversion, economic disruption, introduction to Western education, changes in social hierarchies, misunderstanding of intention, culture, alienation, and resistance to change. These were the factors and these were the reasons for opposition by Orthodox Indians. But keep in mind that while writing this is for 3 marks. If you're writing this, it's okay. We are not having any problem. An answer will be looking good. But for 5 to 6 marks and all, you have to explain in the point form, properly explain it. Whole point, at least write 2 to 3 lines in each point. Right? While writing for 3 marks also, try to explain the point in point form below the mind map. Okay. Moving forward to the next question, what effect did the leadership of Bahadur Shah Zafar have on rebellion? So the leadership of Bahadur Shah Zafar, the last Mughal emperor, had a significant yet complex impact on revolt of 1857. So he was a hero at that time for the rebellions, but still we will see the positive effect. Both the effects were there, positive effect also and negative effect. So whenever they are asking, whenever there is a question, what effect did leadership of Bahadur Shah Zafar have on rebellion? So it is not mentioned positive or negative. So you will be writing positive also and negative effect also in the answer. So first we will see the positive effect of Bahadur Shah Zafar's leadership. So it was like symbol of unity. He was a symbol of unity, moral boost for rebels, and central coordination. So at that time, that period, there was it was need of one person who can coordinate from the central and you can unite everyone at one place. So it was needed. The positive effect was that of Bahadur Shah Zafar. Symbolic unity. Bahadur Shah Zafar, though largely powerless figure at that time, but was proclaimed the leader of the rebellion. His name evoked nostalgia for the Mughal Empire, uniting diverse groups, Hindus, Muslims, soldiers, and peasants against the British under a common banner. Moral boost for rebels, basically declaring him as an emperor, gave a legitimacy to the revolt and inspired widespread participation, especially in Delhi and northern India. So it served as a rallying point for those contented with British rule. Central coordination. So central coordination, it was limited, but still central coordination was there from his base in Delhi. Zafar attempted to coordinate the activities of rebel leaders such as Nana Sahib, Rani Lakshmibai, Tatya Tope, fostering some level of strategic planning. And what were the negative effect of Bahadur Shah Zafar leadership? As we know that he was thrown out of the Red Fort, so lack of real power, he was not having real power, weak administration in Delhi, inability to rally support from princes, failure to retain Delhi, internal divisions were lots of their internal divisions were there, limited vision for the rebellion, so there were no future planning and all, so lack of real power. As you know, by 1857, Zafar was aging and ceremonial figure with no practical authority or military experiences. So the new actual planning and execution of military campaign were handled by disparated rebel leaders, leading to disorganization. Weak administration in Delhi. Zafar Fort in Delhi lacked the resources, manpower, and leadership necessary to mount an effective resistance against the British. Limited vision rebellion. Zafar did not have cohesive or long-term vision for the revolt. His leadership was reactive rather than proactive. So, and he failed to create and unified strategy for rebel across India. Internal divisions. Talking about internal division, many rebels leaders and regional factions were skeptical of Zafar's ability to lead. Conflicting interests among various groups undermined his authority and weakened the rebellion. So, inability to rally support from princes, Zafar's associations with the Mughal legacy deterred some regional rulers and princes who feared losing their autonomy under the revived Mughal Empire. Failure retained Delhi, so he was not able to retain the power in Delhi. So this was a failure. So this was the negative impact, negative effect of the Bahadur Shah Zafar's leadership. So you can write it in the same way, both the positive and negative effect. This will look good. Okay. After that, coming to the next question, what was the immediate cause of revolt? So immediate. This is the last question. I think yes, this is the last question. So what were the immediate cause of revolt? So you have to write all the aftermath. After revolt, Government of India Act 1858 was passed. You can write the similar answer which was there in the last question. I will show you just a minute. Just a second. Yes. Same question you can write there also. What were the steps taken by the Britishers? So you can write the same answer there also, right, in the last question. That is aftermath. You have to write aftermath. Immediate cause of revolt. So Government of India Act 1858 was passed. Territory, the power of East India Company was disbanded. Their army was disbanded. Secretary of State was established. All the points which we have discussed in the previous question. Hope you have enjoyed the video. You have understood the points, how to write answers, how to make mind map, how to write the answers in point form. Go through the PDF. I am sharing the PDF also. Wait for the next chapter also. I will try to make videos, and I will try to pass on the PDFs. Just go through this. PDFs and videos are for reference. You can add your own creativity. You can add your own mind maps. You can frame mind maps, but see to it that you don't go out of the points. Basically, whatever the question they are asking, whatever the content you need, you should stick to the point. You don't have to jump from one point to, like, you are jumping from one question to other question. You don't have to skip the points, or you don't have to jump into the next question, right? You have to stick to the points which what they are asking. You don't have to shift to the, or you don't have to divert. You don't have to get diverted, right? So see this answer. You can see how they were asking about effect, and we have seen effects only, positive effect and negative effect. That's all. There was nothing regarding Bahadur Shah Zafar, was what he was doing in his past, and what he will be going to do in future, or what happened to Bahadur Shah Zafar after the revolt. Nothing is there, right? It's just we have stick to the positive effect and negative effect. So you have to write in the similar way. Okay. Hope you have you got the points and all, and you enjoyed the video. So just revise and stay safe. Thank you.